Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a very special episode of the We're Going 5 podcast powered by TSH Tennis. Today, we have with us one of the greatest legends in the history of tennis. He has coached 5 number 1 players in the world, from Roddick to Capriati to Sharapova to the Williams sisters. He's also coached players that who have won 8 Olympic gold medals. 52 Grand Slam champions were under his tutelage. He has coached so many juniors to so many Grand Slam titles. And obviously, he's a motivational speaker. Welcome, none other than the king, the legend himself, Coach Rick Macci, to the podcast.
Welcome, Coach.
Thank you for having me.
Small disclaimer, we lost the first few minutes of this conversation with the legend Rick Macci, but you're going to join here where he's talking about Vlada Haranchar, who is a 10-year-old phenom who he believes will be the GOAT of women's tennis. Join the conversation. We hope you enjoy. Well, Coach, if this is what you're talking, how you're talking to me about her, like I'm ready to run through a brick wall for you, and you're not even talking about me. So I can imagine how she feels to have you in her corner, and I bet that's something that she is very grateful for. But
Yeah.
but with all this expectation,
Let me expand upon that. You just said
Sure.
the key word:
yeah,
appreciation, gratitude,
Yeah.
the whole family. You know what I'm saying? Believe it or not, Venus and Serena and Richard were like that. They said thank you every night, gave me a hug, a fist pump.
Yeah.
Now, when Serena was mad, the fist pump was a little more authoritative, but I like that. She was like a little gangster from Compton. She had that look even at 11. I'm telling you, she was brutal. I used to call her the little pit bull. But no, appreciation is important for any coach,
Yeah.
because then the coach is going to want to do more. You know what I mean? If you're, and not everybody's going to be a great student, but it's my job to make them a great student and even teach them humility and gratitude. And that's what I said. I'm more of a life coach than maybe a tennis coach.
Yeah. But that's what actually, isn't that what players look for in their coaches sometimes? Like, it's not about the tennis, which is why, like, Sinner, he has his technical coach, and he has Darren Cahill with him to, I guess, for the other things, you know? So the fact that you say it's much more than tennis is exactly how we see the best of the best operating day to day. So that's a great point. But back to this point, Coach, because you're talking about this 7-year-old phenom that we can't wait to see.
She's 10 now. She's getting old. She's 10 now.
She's 10. Yeah, she's super old. She's super old. But with all this expectation comes lots of pressure, correct? So how do you help a player like her and all the players that you've coached in the past deal with the pressure? Because it can be extremely difficult to deal with.
I get it, but I look at it differently. Okay, very differently. I do a podcast with her. It's actually called What You May See is Different Than Rick May See, featuring the Panther. It's featuring her. So listen, I want expectations. I want pressure. I want a target on your back. If you're going to be like everybody else, you'll be like everybody else. Okay? No, it's a compliment. Okay? It's a compliment.
Yeah.
It's a privilege. Listen, this is part of the deal. Now, if she didn't have all these boxes checked, then it'd be a little different, you know, because some people, the expectation, what it might be. No, perfect example. We just went to the Miami Open. Okay? Me and her and her family today. And we got in the car. You know what she said?
What?
I can't wait to win this tournament.
Awesome.
Instead of saying, I can't wait to play this tournament, but it's from the heart, you know?
Yeah.
And listen, when people don't like you, forget tennis. You got to know the real reason, okay? And it's a compliment because people, you know, when I'm coming out, this girl's going to be number 1. If she doesn't, I did a bad job. I haven't seen this since Venus and Serena. Every box is checked, okay? We're going to play a different game. Or she might say, listen, I hope someday people play like me. This is a 10-year-old talking. but it's different. I want pressure. Okay. She can handle pressure because listen, remember what I said, and this was the same thing with the Williamses. They didn't play any junior tournaments. They were
Yeah.
legendary before they did anything.
Yeah.
And so I look at it different. I help them with this. I explain it. I get them to look at things to a different light. 99.9, the parents don't understand this, and neither do the coaches. Okay. So they don't understand this. You want pressure. Like if somebody's playing a practice match, I'll give you an example. And the kid hits the ball into the net, the first serve, and they're about ready to serve the second, and I'm there with both kids. I might say something like, your serve is much better today. You haven't double faulted.
Yeah.
And the parent might be there and they might take it like, and then the kid double faults, because they think that match is like the Super Bowl. But he should focus on what he's doing. I let something else get into his head and he controls the situation. Don't let other things control you. This is what I do. And even if you interviewed Vlada, she would say the things that I'm telling you, but it comes from her heart. I want pressure. I want expectations. I want to be seated number one. And listen, there's people right now, major companies that want to get her involved with her as a global ambassador and sign long-term deals. But we're not doing anything till it's showtime. And that could be 4 or 5 years from now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Coach, speaking of this point, because you brought it up, it was a question that we had that we wanted to ask. So that part when Venus, you wanted her to play tournaments and her dad was against it for a while, correct? That was a big story of their entire legendary story. How do you feel about that now? Do you think they should be playing tournaments when they're young, or has that changed? No, let's just lock in on practice or whatever until we believe now is the time.
First off, great question. First off, I think everybody should play tournaments and everybody should compete. You got to know how to win and you got to know how to lose. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why it worked for VW and Serena, they were just amazing competitors, which a lot of kids are. I thought they would have been even better sooner if they'd have played like junior tournaments. But on the flip side, every day I'm teaching courage, positive errors. I mean, they're launching missiles from Iran 10 feet over the baseline. It's okay. They're going to go in. They're playing as hitting partners, 400 in the world. So we're just working on our game. But you got to remember who they're working on their game with. Rick Macci. That's a whole different thing. I'm teaching them a pro game, very different style. The ball's in the air. They're running in there like Batman, Spider-Man, Aquaman, taking out of the air, hitting it off the fence. People are going, oh, that kid's not that good. That's what they would say. Because I had Capriati. She was poetry in motion. The ball was on a string, low center of gravity. Then they're seeing Venus and Serena, arms and legs and hair and beads flying off their head. It was a train wreck. And they're thinking it's all hype. Rick's playing the race card, the dad's this and that. She doesn't play a tournament, 3.5 years. That's crazy. I get her the wild card, Oakland, California. I don't know what's going to happen. She beats 58 in the world, 4-3. Then the next night, almost beats number 1 in the world. She's up 6-3, 3-1. And Sanchez took a bathroom break, and Venus kind of checked out, And to make that long story short, 8 months later, I got her a $12 million contract.
That's great.
And that's without doing anything. Listen, you make that up. She's hibernating at Rick Macci Academy, getting squished like a bug. She would come up to me and say, Rick, I'll give you $5 if I could beat someone. She never won practice matches because she always played boys or hitting partners. You know how most kids, they would check out, they would take up checkers or marbles or swimming. They would, it could ruin your confidence. No, they were cut from a different cloth. That mental strength was baked in double crispy from birth, that Compton street fight. They were cut differently, the confidence. So I knew they could handle that, but I think they would have done a little better if they would have played tournaments. But the one more little caveat to that, Serena never played any tournaments from 10 to 15 and a half. So she didn't go, she went 5.5 years. She got a wild card into the Bell Classic in Quebec. She lost 1-1 qualifying Annie Miller. People don't understand that. And 2 years later, she's beaten top 10 people in the world. A year later, she wins US Open. It's all those yesterdays of building a pro game. See, sure, her game matched up because she not only had the physicality and the athleticism, everything was already put together, but that debut that she made, losing 1-1 to 180 in the world, she didn't pull off a Venus. She wasn't quite mature enough, but that all changed. So yeah, all kids should play junior tournaments. They need to learn how to compete and accountability.
Then, Coach, what kind of mindset do you want your players to be having while they're competing?
When you say mindset, what do you mean?
Like, how should they be thinking when they're competing? Like in the match, during the match, like what should they be thinking about?
Yeah.
What state of mind should they be in?
No, listen, at the end of the day, this is the hardest thing to do. If kids get into seeding and ranking and they try not to lose, this is all about one thing. I love the battle. I love the competition. It's the hardest thing to have your mind there the whole time. It's a game and you're competing. But scores and games and the person's bigger or I'm littler or I beat them last week, all this starts to get into your head. And when you're all about the competition, and that's what I saw in Venus and Serena, okay, and the little Ukrainian, you're going to handle pressure a little better. Everybody gets nervous, but you don't ever want to be afraid. And that's very important for everybody watching this. Everybody gets nervous, everybody, but it's how you handle it. And to be in the ideal performance state, that means you got to be very intense, very competitive, all in mentally fighting, but calm and enjoying the competition. These two things have to come together. And when you have fun and you enjoy the competition, I ask the kids every day, I give a speech every day at 10 o'clock to the kids. And I ask them all the time, if you were losing 6-0, 3-0, could you be having a great day? And the ones, both some, they only have a great day when it's like their birthday or something like that. No, everybody's good when they're good. You could still be having a great day when it's 6. They think of it like wrong. You love the competition, and tennis changes in the blink of an eye. That's what this is all about. Okay, but people get away from that. They protect, they hold on, ranking. They try not to lose. They don't develop, and they never reach their full potential. And I stress this more than anything. And like a perfect example is this. I tell the kids, if you hit the ball in the net against Alcaraz, say you're hitting back and forth to Carlos, and you hit in the net, and the girls say 12, and you hit it in the net against an 8-year-old, would you feel the same? And almost all of them say no. I say, but it went into the net. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all perspective, like life. But you feel different if you hit it in the net against Alcaraz opposed to an 8-year-old little hamburger. So that's a whole different thing. It's mind control, It's mind control. And this is why you see people beat people, okay? Or people always say this. They play better against better people, and they play worse against worse people, and they got it backwards. You should play better, okay, against worse people because you're better. And you should play worse against better people because they're better. But people look at it differently. Yeah. And this is why you want to be seated. You want I go back to what you said. You want pressure. You want expectation. You want that. You want to be hunted. That is a compliment. But it's about one thing. I love the battle. And anybody watching this, that's what you got to have your kid do. And if they have passion, like a lot of enjoyment, that is a big, big thing. Everybody gets mad. Everybody gets frustrated. Djokovic feels the same way, but he's trained his mind. Maybe not even a second later, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's mind control. Okay, you can get mad. You don't have to keep it in. You can break a racket, even though I don't recommend that. What happens next? What happens next? That was a great question.
Yeah. Awesome.
I love learning from you, Coach. It's so insightful. And one of the cool things, I think, is your philosophies that I've been consuming for a long time, and also your Maccisms. And so, Coach, I want to ask you about one of your Maccisms. So you say that a real winner will make mistakes and admit it. But how do you find that balance between admitting your mistakes and not getting too harsh or too down on yourself, because that can be counterintuitive? How do you find that balance?
Can you repeat that? I could barely hear him a little bit.
Sorry, Coach.
Said?
One of your philosophies is a real winner will make mistakes and admit it. But how do you find that balance between admitting your mistakes and not getting too harsh on yourself?
Well, now listen, everybody, every kid, every parent, they're going to say their kid's a perfectionist, and everything is in the eye of the beholder. And if you're making positive mistakes, if we're talking especially kids, you know what I'm saying? This is junior development. It's not junior final destination. This is a journey. I always told BW and Serena, 3 more inches, 10 more pounds, you're set hitting a winner across court. But right now, you didn't get to the ball. And this is where it's like a different sport as you go down the road. You know what I'm saying? So you want to develop and work on your game. No one has missed more drop shots in the history of tennis as a kid than Carlos Alcaraz. And he has the best one. You got to fail to succeed. And this is the hardest thing. People get in their comfort zone, but they'll never get in the end zone. And this is a problem, especially with girls. They'd rather die slowly at the baseline. And they think they're going to be going to Wimbledon, but they'll be watching it on TV like the rest of us, It's going to happen. It ain't going to happen. I'm just telling you. And that's the biggest thing. And it's a hard sell to the parents, because the parents want it now. They want the W. They want to talk about it at the cocktail party. I get all that. You can still do both. You can still do both. Okay, it's a journey. And I'll go back again. Venus and Serena never played a national tournament, never got on an airplane, never played a junior Grand Slam, never did any of that stuff. And one's the greatest of all time, and her sister was number 1, too, and they lived in the same house and shared the same bedroom. You can't make it up. So whatever someone says that, I could say that, but I'm not like that. As I said, you want to play tournament. But if they're positive errors, it comes down to coaching. Even today, I must have said, when someone missed the ball, I probably said it 50 times. You did the right thing. You did the right thing. Keep doing it. Because when you start putting, when you put guardrails and handcuffs on people, you might win the day, okay? But it's hurting you in the future. I teach courage. I said this earlier, confidence, all right? You're going to rent it now if you want to own it later. I do this very, very differently, all right? Now, you got to be able to keep the ball in play. Now it comes down to the quality of the consistency. And that's what you see on television. The guys can hit it like Sinner, okay? He can hit the ball like 10 times in a row, 80 miles an hour, back and forth. A lot of guys can't do it at 80. And that's what this is about. Sure, there's a technical part, there's an athletic part, but this is what I get people to do. Now, on the flip side, if someone can't keep the ball in play and all they do is hit hard, then that's a different training. I got to get them to be steady Eddie. I got to get them to keep it in. And then I slowly build and build and build. There's too many different levels of what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And most girls will tell you when they're younger why they don't go to the net. They'll tell you, I don't want to get lobbed. Okay. I get passed easy, and they'd rather die slowly at the baseline. And then every coach in the world, when they get 15, they say the same thing. Try to come in more, attack more, come to the net more. You even hear this stuff on TV from the commentators. What were you doing at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? This is what I do. I do things for the future, and I do this very differently. Even kids that are only going to play college tennis, I get them to believe, so down the road they're going to achieve.
Awesome. Love that.
I'm going to use this more. Get out of the comfort zone to get into the end zone. I'm going to use that probably every single day, Coach.
There you go. I got 1,000 more. Trust me. And that's another thing.
We know that.
The fact you said that, you have no idea. You have no idea how people, whether it be Casper Ruud or anybody that I see, like Riley Opelka, all these guys that I taught, they'll come back and they don't say something about I coach Christian Ruud, not Casper. I coach his dad. Okay, and they'll come
That's
back.
crazy.
They'll come back and say those things that you said, not my forehand or the backhand or any. They don't talk about stuff like that. It's all like if you live in the past, you're going to get past. You got to remember to forget. Master boring. You know, the people are in bed. We're getting ahead. They come back. All these things are stick with people. And so what that does, rhymes and reasons and association expedites the learning curve, and they remember that. Even the little panther, like, because she's been around me like every day at 5 o'clock for almost two years and 2 months. She has all the one-liners, all the saying, and I made such a difference in her mind. Okay, not only to be like articulate, she bought in. She'll tell you, listen, tennis is a game of time. Either slow the game down, you speed it up. I could hire her as a coach almost. I mean, this is what I do, you know? And if you do it on a thoroughbred, they'll probably win the Derby.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Then, Coach, are you a Sinner guy or an Alcaraz guy?
Well, obviously, way back in the day, I called Sinner. I called Alcaraz. It's all on YouTube. Where this was going when he was 17.
Oof.
Okay, and people, if you go back and look, people are going, whoa, because everybody gets defensive with Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic still playing, or they were on third heading towards home.
True.
And I was saying, I never saw anything like this. When he was 17, Spanish magician, generational talent, turbo speed like we've never seen. He's a Broadway performer with a racket in his hand. Technically, he's in the neighborhood. It's a very different player that we've ever seen. Fast forward that movie, 7 Grand Slams, and now everybody's kind of saying, I haven't seen anything like that. But I said it before he even won his first Grand Slam. And not that I should get a hoodie or anything. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just saw it differently. And I knew he was wired differently. Now, Sinner, let's talk about that. Okay. Very different animal. I tell everybody, genetically, when he was young, he was a downhill skiing champion. He went to tennis. Now everything's going uphill. Okay, he gets in and out of the corners. All that skiing, think about it. When you see him into the corners, he's like a spider that's very coordinated. He can hit off that left foot, and he's kind of made of rubber. He can hit quality off of quality. A lot of guys have to let go of the racket and chip it, or they kind of roll it. He goes back and he still hits like a missile from Italy. So it's a very different quality from him that he delivers. So he has like 2 forehands, and mentally, the guy's pretty much bulletproof. He's a cool, calm, collected player.
Wow.
So he just plays through people, and he plays on baseline. Now, think about this. Back in the day, a lot of the Italians didn't play like that. They would dip it, flip it, chip it, rip it, slice you, dice you, order extra cheese on the pizza. You know how the Italians play. He plays very different. Okay? And so it's hard to break him down. Listen, everybody's going to lose, but then he plays Carlos. It's a little different because Carlos can kind of play a little chess, and when they play that game and they play the cat and mouse, like Alcaraz always gets the cheese. So I'm an Alcaraz guy, but I love Sinner, and I use both of them as role models for the kids. Really, what they do after they lose a point. They don't want to listen to me. Look how they handle failure, okay? Look at greatness. You want to get better? Look what greatness does when they make a mistake, okay? Instead of all this drama. You guys could go to a junior tournament, walk around, and you could say, that kid's losing, that one's winning, that one's winning. That you can just tell by watching.
Yeah.
And if they really want to be all in, I make them write it in a journal. I make them look at it every day. I want ownership. I don't care if you're 7 years old. It doesn't matter to me. This is your thing. Your parents gave you the opportunity. Write it down, take responsibility. That's it. And one more thing when we're on this. I tell the kids all the time at this speech, I go, let me ask you guys a question. How many of you guys, if I told you right now, and some of the kids are like young, like 8 years old, if I said go run 5 miles, would you do it? And like a couple raised their hand like that. I said, well, let me ask you a different way. How many of you, right? This is after we worked out. How many of you would go run 5 miles if I gave you $5,000? It's like bang, both hands go in the air. And there's 25 kids or whatever. They all, and I said, listen, you got it backwards. It's backwards. It's backwards. If you work hard and you run like that and do it on your own, maybe someday you'll win a lot more than 5,000. See, everybody has it backwards. They all made a choice. Like, I'm kind of tired. We worked out. I don't really want to do it. But when I said, I'll give you $5,000, it's like I got touchdown. All of them did that. Crazy.
Brilliant, coach.
I get into their head because a lot of them are going to listen to me more than their parents because one word can change a child's life.
Absolutely. They're so lucky.
Yeah.
Then, coach, while we're on the tour, can Djokovic still win a slam?
Yes, he can. Here's how. Here's how he can. He has to have a good draw. He can't play any like crazy matches because of the recovery. If it's like a 5-setter and then he has like a day to rest, that could be a little tough on him. But he can because mentally he's been there, done that. He's proven, the Serbian sniper, he's the GOAT. But he'd have to have Sinner or Alcaraz get upset or get injured. Okay. I don't see him beating either of those guys in the best of 5. It ain't going to happen now. Maybe, but I doubt it. So things would have to break his way, but I would bet him winning a slam more than anybody else other than Carlos and Yannick, simply because he knows what it feels like. He still has the game, and he can go all in on a slam, but things would have to break his way. Easier matches, nothing crazy, and whoever he's going to play in the semis, Alcaraz or Sinner, they would have to get upset or get injured.
Yeah. Makes sense. Then, coach, we know you're high on Joao Fonseca. How high can he go?
Fonseca? Okay.
Yeah, you're high on him.
No.
How high can he go? And when will he start challenging the big dogs?
In a year. Listen, the Brazilian blaster, he's right there because of one thing. You got to remember, I called that one too. When I saw him win the U.S. Open Juniors, but the way he did it, even though the backhand was still a little dodgy, I saw that he had some completeness to his game. His forehand was nuclear, so that means he can play through you, okay? And since he won the juniors, that means mentally there's something there. But to answer your question, I'll go out on a limb and say next year at this time, he'll definitely be top 5. He could even be number 3.
Oh, wow.
No, he's the real deal. He's not a generational talent like Alcaraz, okay? Because Alcaraz has that turbo speed, another level. And Alcaraz has everything. He has everything, okay? But Fonseca can definitely go in there and battle, and he will definitely beat both of them before it's all said and done. But will he win a Grand Slam? 100%. He'll win multiple Grand Slams.
Love it.
We love Joao Fonseca. So the fact that you're saying that gets us really hyped. Then, Coach, I want to thank you for all the time that you've given us, and I feel like we can listen to you for hours. But we know that your time is limited. So we just want to do a last rapid fire segment with you before we head off. Is that okay?
Yeah, fire away. No pun intended. Fire away.
Okay, perfect. So you can name past or present. I'm going to tell you something, and you tell me. You can pick a player from the past or present, and whoever comes to mind. Let's do it?
Yep.
Okay. So first off, who has the best serve?
Ever?
Yep.
Oh, well, it's going to be a tie. Pistol Pete Sampras, biomechanic. I know this inside out. Biomechanically, it's Sampras, and even though it looked kind of weird, it's Roddick. Roddick, even though he was 6'2", he got a higher percentage in the fastest serve ever. Biomechanically, we've studied this stuff. They are more connected on a regular basis than anybody. Okay. So it'd be those two. But if you only want me to take one, I'm going with Roddick. Maybe that's I'm a little prejudiced. And he didn't serve like that. No, he didn't serve like that when I had him. He did a regular take back, but I would go with Roddick.
Awesome. Then best forehand.
I go with Federer. Here's why. Simply because he was one of the first of the Mohicans. He played with like a hybrid grip, like not really semi-Western. He was out between an Eastern and a semi. He played right on the baseline and he took it right off the bounce. And the reason why I say that, when I've had juniors or people I know, they got to play against Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic. Like they would get a junior to play with. All of them said, I'd rather play Djokovic and Nadal than Federer, because when they went to play Federer, they just felt so rushed. Okay. And so it's Federer. I know a lot of people say Rafa because of all the spin. Obviously on clay, Nadal, he's brutal up to your backhand, but it'd be FedEx.
Awesome. Then the best backhand.
It's not even close. It's the rubber band man, the Serbian sniper, Djokovic. His range of motion, okay, and the way he does it, right arm straight, left elbow bent, racket head above. He pulls with the right, he pushes with the left, the pull and the flip. It looks like he's eating breakfast when he hits the ball. He's not even trying. Have you ever noticed that? It's like very different than, say, a lot of the girls or some manufactured shot. His backhand is a knife through butter. It's money in the bank. Yeah. Djokovic by far, but there's been many great backhands, but I would go with the Joker.
Perfect. Then the best volleys.
Best volley?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people. Not a lot of people come in. Obviously, Federer had a great volley. So did Sampras. Since Sampras came in a lot more, he could drop it and stuff like that. So I would go with one of those two. But to tell you the truth, probably the best volley is some doubles guy. I don't even know his name. Those guys. That's probably true. I don't even know. Those guys probably have the best volley. But since you're not asking me this question, the best backhand women's slice by far is Steffi Graf. Okay, I mean, she hit the ball so low and she chipped every ball and she made them hit it up and she ran around and just crunched the forehand. I mean, her game back in the day with her movement was tailor made to get the forehand because she made all the girls get up. And you guys know as well as I do, girls don't like it when it's around their ankles. They want it in the strike zone. They don't want it above the head or below the ankle. And Graf had just a brutal slice. She knifed that thing.
Legend. Then I probably know the answer, but best drop shot.
Well, it's not even compared. Right now, it's Alcaraz. There's been a lot of guys with good droppers, but you got to understand, not only does Alcaraz have the best, he has the best disguise and deception. And he gives you a bad reception. He has the best drop shot. He has the best drop shot, and you don't know it's coming. And remember, we're looking at the best players in the world. They're in the freezer. They don't even move.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They don't even move, and they know it could happen. But he does it match point, break point. There's courage on steroids when you think like that. And I'm going on the record right now. When you see the little Panther, her backhand.
I was going to tell you, Coach. Yeah.
No. Bang, 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 bang. Wrong. And it lands like a butterfly 3 inches from the net. You'll see it coming to a court near you 5 years from now. Sophia Kenin had a great drop shot, but she's kind of fallen off and there's some mental stuff going on. But definitely Alcaraz. There's no one even comparing. Crazy. By the way, he's changed the way not only people play the game, other pros, he's like forced them to play more. He's changed the way you teach the game. Now it's like, okay, to drop shot, and people, I hope, coaches are teaching more of a cafeteria smorgasbord. I got to do everything and not just one-stop shopping and just hit the ball.
Yeah.
I hope.
Coach, I kind of compare it to Steph Curry in basketball, where he made everyone want to shoot threes, and he changed the game completely in that sense.
Completely. Totally different. And more importantly, Alcaraz, it's like more people are trying to smile to go the extra
Yeah.
mile. I mean, this guy's having fun, but he still wants to take your heart out, and he's a brutal competitor. I mean, that's a big thing. But when I said enjoy the battle, when you look at Alcaraz, it looks like he's just enjoying the competition like no other. And he's number one on the planet, mainly because his head's made of granite.
Awesome. Then speaking, I don't know, but next one, most talented coach.
Most talented?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to have to be Alcaraz. When this is all said and done, barring injury, he's going to have the most slams. I'm just telling you where this is going.
Oh,
He
baby
has
goats.
no. He's the most talented. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Monfils or Kyrgios and to me, I judge talent from your head to your toe. So that includes from the neck up. The mind. And when I look at athletic ability, it's not just running and
Love
jumping.
that.
But the talent level and of the Spanish magician, he can, like I said, dip it, flip it, rip it. He handles a racket like a baton. His motor skills, and he can volley. You never see someone with all that and can volley. Even look at some of the top 10 guys. They can volley, but they can't really volley. I mean, he knows where you're going to hit it before you do, and you see him steal a lot of points. So he's the most talented player, and there's no comparison because he does everything.
Yeah, that's true. Then the most underrated player.
The most underrated player?
Yeah.
Can I go man or woman?
Yeah, you can go anyone.
Okay. You ready for this?
Let's go.
Like my own daughter, it's Venus. And here's why.
Oh.
Okay. No, it's Venus. And I know people look at that differently. Even though she won 7 slams, and by the way, at age 12, I said she'd win 5 Wimbledon. She won 5 Wimbledon. Okay. Angela Buxton did a story from England. And I said I go, this little girl's going to win 5 Wimbledon someday. And it's right here in my office. She won 5 Wimbledon. But listen, she played Serena. She played Serena 31 times. It was 19-12 for Serena. No one beat the GOAT more than Venus. People don't realize how good Venus was. And you got to remember, during that time, there wasn't a lot of hamburgers and cheeseburgers. You had Dementieva, Capriati, Pierce, Moschina, Kleisters, Hennen. You had a lot of Maresmo. You had a lot of people that won slams. Now it's a little. There's more players capable, but back then there was more proven. But Venus doesn't get enough credit. Okay, and if Serena wasn't there, or she's not the player, Venus actually had more ability. People freak out when I say that. She could jump like 35 inches off the ground. She was like a praying mantis at the net. But when they left me, she kind of stayed at the baseline and she didn't come in. That match in California against Sanchez, she came to the net 33 times. Crazy. And then the Pro Tour, she hardly did that. So I would go Venus. And by the way, when she played doubles with Serena, 14-0 in Grand Slam finals.
Crazy.
You don't understand how good Venus was. Okay, she's never, obviously you look at numbers, you get into Graf and these people, Hingas, but Venus, the most underrated. People don't realize how she changed the game. No one could cover the court and hit with quality better than the great VW. The Compton Comet.
That is a great answer. Then, Coach, who is the mentally toughest?
That's a tough thing to answer because they all are, or they wouldn't be there. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, you just have to say it's a 3-way tie, the trifecta, Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic. When you win that many slams and you deliver on the biggest stage, they all are. Now, some people might say Nadal because he's like that lunch pail type of guy, grinder, bulldog, and they equate that to mental strength. No, those 3 guys are definitely a cut above just because you got to go with the numbers. They won more than anybody at the highest level, but whenever you win multiple Grand Slams, you have some magnitude of mentally being very strong, but those 3 are the leader in the clubhouse by far.
Fair. Then who's the most clutch?
The most clutch?
Yeah.
Well, I think on the serve, by far, it's Federer. No one got to serve in on break point and hit the spot better than Federer. People don't understand. It might have changed by now, but he's third on the ATP tour with aces, and he's only 6'2". There's a lot of guys 6'4", 6'6", whatever, and they have a gun, a missile. But Federer, and that's not counting unreturnables. Think about it. When you go back in time, Federer, bang, everybody can serve big. Can you get it in? And it's really something people don't realize. Can you get it in when it's showtime? And then the other one by far is Serena. Okay, when she needed to go in her back pocket and she was serving, especially, that's what I deal clutch. She could get her serve in when she needed it. But more importantly, it's how you play the big point. So you got to go with the greatest players of all time.
Yeah, that's a great way to think of it. Then, Coach, the best Grand Slam atmosphere.
The best Grand Slam atmosphere?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's Wimbledon, simply because it's like a different sport, and they've kept their tradition. It's grass. It's like there's a lot of things. The others are all amazing, they're all amazing. I mean, but it's all branded now, very different, and it's like a rock concert. I get all that stuff, but the best atmosphere. Every player will tell you, Wimbledon has a very different feel.
Fair. Then this is going to be a tough one because you've been in the game of tennis for a long, long time. The favorite match you've ever watched?
That's the easiest answer of all time.
Oh, really?
1994, October 31st, Oakland Coliseum, Oakland, California. Right across the street, the Rolling Stones are playing. It's Halloween night. I'm taking this little girl from Compton, California, with all the smoke and bells and whistles and stuff like that to make this debut. The year before, there was 22 media credentials given out. This year, 252.
Oh, my God.
Elvis. It's like Elvis was coming into the building, not leaving the building. I didn't know what was going to happen. I knew they'd see this tall girl run like the wind, open stance, serve 112 miles an hour as a 14-year-old. I didn't know what was going to happen. She could be shooting missiles from North Korea into the crowd. I don't know what was going to happen. Okay, but I knew they'd see a different athlete, and you got to understand, 3.5 years, and I'm rolling the dice. Working with her all the time. My time, money, taekwondo, boxing, ballet, hitting partners. And now the moment of truth. And she goes and plays this match. And little VW, which wasn't that little, but little VW wins that match. And for 3.5 years, it's almost like someone training for a gold medal for 4 years, and then you run the 100 meters and it's over in 10 seconds. It's like, and then when I saw her win that match, this is on YouTube, and she goes up the net, she's jumping up and down like a human pogo stick, and the beads are flat. It's one of the happiest days of my life, because remember, I was all in, but I knew where it was going. But I was happy because I saw the happiness in my student.
That's a beautiful story, Coach. Then last two, Coach. Who's the best coach on tour right now?
The best coach?
Yeah, on tour.
No, I don't. You tried to trick me there. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. Listen,
no, because
I don't
if
know.
we're going to talk about best coach, it's you. So I'm saying best coach on tour.
No, I'm in the clubhouse. I don't know where. But listen, I don't know what the travel coaches do. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember this. A lot of these people, you could start saying this guy, but the guy's already had 5 Grand Slams, or Serena had 12 and someone starts coaching her. You just can't mess it up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they do. So I'm not in a good position to say that. Just like people, no one knows what I do. They don't know I tee it up at 4 o'clock. But anybody that comes here and watches me do what I do, they're like shocked. It's a medley of everything. So people just say, oh, he coached that one, he coached that one, he did it. They don't know what I do. Unless they're with me a couple days or whatever, then they'll be blown away. They'll be like stunned. So I don't really know what goes on the pro tour, the mental part, I don't know all the nuances that go involved. And to sit here and say it's this guy or that girl or that guy, I really don't know, and I couldn't give an opinion 'cause I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
Everybody thought the Alcaraz thing was going to blow up, except me. And that thing ends. He wins the Australian. People ask me about Iga, because some journalists asked me to be a consultant to get into that whole thing. I said, listen, I don't think she needs a coach at all. She should just coach herself, look in the mirror, make a decision at 1 year and see. Why do you need someone to blame? She's been there, done that. She's proven. She knows what's going on. And from what I've heard, there was a lot of stuff going on in that whole inner circle. So I don't know. So I think a coach is more strategic and mental to help the player, but technically they're not really going to be able to go there unless they have experience in biomechanics.
Okay, amazing answers. Then last question, our rapid fire. Who is the GOAT?
Coaching or tennis player?
No, players, tennis players.
Oh, that's
Who's
easy. It's the Serbian sniper, Novak Djokovic and Serena. There's no comparison. See, I look at the numbers. Djokovic, slam dunk.
Yeah.
Even though Serena's one behind Margaret Court, I do things just like I evaluate talent, the eyeball test. The eyes don't lie. Okay, they don't lie. Besides the numbers of Serena, okay, just big, strong, fast, quick, mobile, agile, can do the splits, hits bullets off both sides, the best serve in women's tennis, and she's like a pit bull. And you guys know what a pit bull is like. When they get a hold of you, they don't let go. And that's Serena Williams.
Yep. Agreed there.
Unbelievable, Coach. Unbelievable. But thank you so much again for your time. But we want to wrap up with just a few final questions. There's some advice for young players, like any final piece of advice that you want to give to young players all around the world. Anybody listening here?
Absolutely. This is it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Today's important, but tomorrow's more important. It's junior development, not junior final destination. Work on your game, learn all the shots. Don't get so caught up in winning and losing. Okay, that's going to take care of itself as you get bigger, stronger, and faster. Okay, and just try to outwork the competition, and most of all, you got to have a lot of passion and love for the game. You play the game for one reason. I love the competition. That's why you should play. And if you have that mindset, if you have that attitude, you'll be the best you can be, whether you're just going to go play high school tennis or college tennis. You have to have that to play pro. But more importantly, that attitude alone will not only help you in school and your tennis game, it's going to help you in the game of life.
I feel like, Coach, if I just had 5 minutes of time with you, I would have been at least a top 100 player, like if I was young. It's crazy. It's crazy to feel like I'm imagining myself then. But then, okay, also because you know more than anybody how important it is to have good parents to know how to teach their kids properly. So what advice would you give to parents also having young kids and players that they want to help?
First off, I love this question. You got to understand, no one's had more tennis parents from outer space than Rick Macci, Stefano Capriati, Yuri Sharapova, okay, Alex Kennan, Jim Pierce, Richard Williams. I mean, I got the five right there. I mean, listen, I should be in the Hall of Fame just putting up with those guys. I mean, forget what I've done. No, listen, but I learned how to keep my mouth shut. And that's a big part of coaching also. But the parents are there for one reason: motivate and support. Okay? Your kid didn't hit it in the net or out on purpose. What would you have done when you were 11? The parent probably didn't even play. The kid didn't miss on purpose. They got to, the parents got to understand. Now, if they have a sports background, they can get this a little easier. You know what I mean? They'll be able to understand it more. But a lot of them, maybe they don't understand, how this thing works. But the parents, supportive, encourage your kid. You can do it. A positive attitude, and instill that work ethic. That's the most important thing of a parent's job. And you got to be careful because a lot of parents, because we all know tennis for a lot can be easy to coach. You hit it out, more topspin, hit it in the net, aim higher. The parents become the coach. Listen, there's parents that tell me how to hit the ATP forehand. And Ryan and I did the video 17 years ago, went viral. I can't make this up. But I know how to just okay, I get it. I know how to do that. So that's what the parents should be, supportive. You can do it. Believe in your kid. And you got to push them if they need pushed. You got to know when to hug them, okay? But you also need to know when to kick them in the butt. And a lot of them get it mixed up. And that's what I love about Richard Williams. This guy was all about life lessons. Even though he was out there a little bit, he was the best father every day, because he let those kids be kids, because he knew one thing: they would never get their childhood back, and they were kids first and tennis players second. That's why I love the guy.
Coach, I feel like I feel you're like a philosopher. You're a modern day philosopher. I don't know if anybody told you that, but that's unbelievable. Like, listening to you, I feel like we're not talking about tennis. Like, it's just life. And to be like a great coach, you have to be somebody that's a deep thinker. And I feel like that's something very clear to everybody listening to us. So finally, Coach,
you're right.
Again,
the other part's easy. Well, everything I'm talking about is how I get them to look through things through a different lens, and I get into their head, and it's almost the exact opposite. The way I try to get them, and this is the challenge I like. And if I can flip the script, then it's going to be a better book.
Yeah, like I feel like anybody can apply all of these rules that you're talking about to anything, not just sport, just life, work, jobs, anything. It's unbelievable, really, Coach. Again, Thank you so much for your time. But if you just want to tell everybody how to find you, where to follow you, and also what you're working on right now, if you want to just say some last final thoughts about things you're working on and doing.
Yeah, listen. Well, first off, if you're ever in Florida, I'm in Boca Raton, Florida, Rick Macci Tennis Center. I'm always on court 1. I'll be there 4 a.m. I don't know if you want to be there at that time. So I'm there 7 days a week. So I'm always on the court doing my thing. You can email me, info@rickmacy.com. You go to Rick Macci Instagram, okay, Facebook. I'm everywhere. A lot of free stuff on YouTube. There's some instructional stuff. But if anybody wants to send me a video, I look at more videos probably than any other coach in the world. I analyze it. Sometimes I do it 5 seconds just for free, so people can do that. I also do a lot of FaceTime videos. Listen to this. Whether it be England, India, Germany, Belarus, 3 o'clock in the morning, in the parking lot, pitch dark, with the squirrels and the birds, okay? And I'm doing a FaceTime video correcting technical things, and someone's in their living room in India. So listen, and it doesn't matter if you're 5 years old or you're the little Panther, who I think is going to be #1 in the world someday, or it's many of the girls I work with on the Pro Tour. And regarding the Panther, we'll circle back in time, and we'll both come on your podcast, and you'll be blown away.
We can't wait. We can't wait, Coach.
No, if you go look and see the one we did, it's crazy, and all kids would be inspired, and it's a gold nugget for parents. She's already a role model. Her work ethic and the way she goes about it, and she's the nicest, sweetest kid with $1 million smile. Until she's on the court, she has a knife in her back pocket. So that's a whole different thing. So she has a daily double. Off the court, she's this, but on the court, she's a little assassin. That's why I love the little Panther.
Amazing.
Awesome.
No, you're awesome, Coach. And we have to tell everyone, you told us you couldn't talk before 12 because you're on the court daily from 4 to 12. You're not joking. And 7 days a week, you're doing that. It's unbelievable.
No, listen, and sometimes longer.
That's unbelievable.
No, it's and I feel great. I was on this morning at 4, got off at 12, bang. I'm on Sports Hub at 1 o'clock. We're doing our thing.
Oh, this has been so awesome. I feel like I've learned so much in this 1 hour plus, Coach. It's been awesome. Thank you so much for your time. It's been
No,
fantastic.
thank you for having me, and we'll do it again. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Yeah.
please, Coach.
No, I just want to say thank you, Coach, for everything you've done for tennis. And thank you for also what you're doing for all the players, not only on the court, but off the court, and making them the best human beings they can be, because at the end of the day, that makes the biggest difference. So thank you for that. And we've learned so much from you. I can't wait for us to get to talk to you again. Best of luck with the Little Panther. Best of luck with everything else. And hopefully we get to speak to you soon again.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, and we'll definitely do it again.
Awesome, Coach.
Awesome.
You're the best,
Thank you,
Coach.
Thanks,
You're the
Coach.
best. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
guys, when you get it, you can send me everything. We'll push it out to 100,000 people.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. We'll do
Amazing.
it. We'll do it.
Awesome. We will.
All right,
We will.
see you
We'll do.
later.
See you later, Coach.
Bye, Coach.
See you, Coach. Have a good one. Appreciate you.
That was absolutely amazing. Guys, if you enjoyed this conversation as much as we did, go check out some other interviews we did with Coach Christoph Wiegen and also Coach Michael Tillstrom. They were also as insightful. And we're going to be doing this every single week, whether it's recapping things, whether it's talking to different coaches and players. Subscribe. It means so much to us. And we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good night. Good night. Good night. Very good night.